Now, it's not what you're thinking. It's not Tears in the River. It's not I Want to Know. It's not any of those. It actually has never come out yet. It's a completely unreleased song. None of you have ever heard it before. You're now the first people in Norway to ever hear this song, which is awesome. I actually found out today that Norway is smaller than 48 out of the 50 states in the United States. Isn't that insane? The entire country of Norway is smaller than pretty much our smallest state, which is pretty awesome to have this many cool people in such a small area. That's cool. It's not the case in the U.S. In the U.S., you got cool people in like this spot, and then another spot's like really, really weird people. We're all over the place. But Norway's awesome. I like you guys. Cool stuff. But with that being said, like I said, wrote this song when I was sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. Wrote this song when I was 13 years old. Let me give you a little backstory. First song I ever wrote, right? When I was 8 years old, me and my dad, or not me and my dad, when I was 8 years old, me and my family, we had decided that we needed to move to Birmingham, Alabama from Nashville, Tennessee. I grew up about 35 minutes north of Nashville. I grew up tobacco farming. Like think about cigarettes or think about like cigars, right? Like really nice cigars. That's what my family did. We farmed tobacco. And we did that, and then we decided, my dad had another job offer down in Alabama, so we moved. At 8 years old, I didn't have much say in the matter, so that's just what had to happen. I moved. I had moved right after first grade ended, and I remember when we finally got settled down in Alabama, I had about 3 weeks until second grade started. I don't necessarily know what you guys call elementary school, but, year two. I just finished year one, I'm into year two. I don't know what you guys call it, but I was going to second grade. I didn't have any friends. I knew no one. I knew not a single soul. I moved away from all my friends, all my family, all the people I knew and loved, and started somewhere completely new. So, what did I think was the smartest thing to do at 8 years old to make friends? Go to the community pool, right? I'm sure that's what you were thinking as well. It's absolutely not what you were thinking, but that's what I thought, right? I thought that was pretty smart. So, what did my mom do? She took me to the community pool, right? Went there, about 2 weeks, made no friends, right? I'm a pretty likable dude. I don't necessarily know what happened. I think we just fell short. But made no friends until, here's a good part, until the last day. One of the last days I met some of my first ever buddies. One of them, his name was Joshua Hermany, still buddies to this day, and then another one named was Alex, right? Alex introduced me to like dirt bikes, dune buggies, and stuff like that. We played baseball together, right? He was a catcher, I was a pitcher and center fielder, so we kind of bonded over that. But Alex was a year older than me. As you guys know, when you're in like elementary school, middle school, you don't really see the people that are a year older than you or a year below you. You just kind of see the people that are your age. So I wish I got to, hang out with them a little bit more. But, we were buddies. We were cordial. We were buds. And when I saw him, I was like, oh, what's up, man? We were just buddies, right? We knew each other. We were friends. How this has anything to do with the song, unfortunately, when Alex was 14 years old, he's a year older than me, like I said, I was 13. When he was 14 years old, he decided to take his own life, right? And I remember being super, whoa, when that happened, because nothing in my life of that detriment had ever happened to me yet. It was the first time in my life I'd ever lost someone. It was the first time in my life I've ever experienced severe loss. It never happened to me before, so I didn't necessarily know how to handle it. So to this day, I wouldn't know how to handle it, but really back then I didn't at all. So, I just got really confused and really angry and really, just kind of like, why does this happen? Why did he decide to do that? So many questions are running through my brain. About 3 or 4 weeks later after that, another girl, she was a year older than me, also went to my school. I never knew her. Somehow we never crossed paths. But, she went to my school and was a year older than me and also lived in my neighborhood. Her name was Dory. She also, committed suicide within the exact same month. It all happened within like 3 or 4 weeks of each other. And I remember not just me being bummed, but like the whole town, right? Everyone just had like a weird aura about him. Everyone just had like a weird feeling about him when it happened. And, no one necessarily knew how to handle it. And no one necessarily knew why, right? So, being 13 years old and just being curious of not only why he decided to do that, because it genuinely did not compute to me whatsoever, or why she decided to do that, why do teenagers decide to think this is the best option? Why do just teenagers in general think this is, smart? are the best thing that they can do. I looked it up, and what I found wasn't necessarily surprising, but it's very, it makes sense. The number one leading cause for suicide for teenagers, which is 13 through 18, the number one leading cause in the entire world, not only in the United States, in the entire world, is social media. Social media. It's the number one cause for all of it. And that stinks for a guy like me, right? A guy like me who grew up on social media and loves social media. Social media has changed my life. 99.9% of the people in this room tonight have seen me on social media, right? And I know that for a fact, because that's just a major platform, and that's how I changed my life. I posted a video when I was 13, and now I'm 60, and I travel the world. I travel the world. I'm 5,000 miles away from my home, or kilometers, or whatever. Yeah. But I'm very far away from my home playing music because of social media. So I know how amazing it can be. It's changed my life. It's changed my family's life in more ways than I could ever express to you guys. But I also know how terrible social media can be, and how mean, and how judgmental, and how just out of pocket for no reason. People just are mean to each other, and you don't even know them. I've never met none of you guys. I know, I've seen two in the meet and greet or whatever, right? But the other, whatever, how many, I've never met. I don't know any of you. Who am I to sit up here and hate on or nitpick one of you guys, and I've never even met you before? Where I'm getting at is, as much as I'd love to sit up here and act like I'm the nicest guy on the planet, I'm not, right? And I'd love to be, but I'm not. I've been mean a lot in my life. I've been mean 100 times and say I've been nice 50. And 100 times out of 100, I'm going to be the nice guy. 50, or 100 times out of 100. For 100% of the time, I'm going to choose being the nice guy because I just feel better about myself. Moral of the story is, I don't care who you are, where you're from, how old you are, from 5 to 95. I don't know necessarily who's in the crowd tonight, but it's a wide array of ages. Right? And I know I'm only 16 years old. You don't have to listen to every word I'm saying, but I'm not dumb either, right? And it should probably mean a little bit more coming from a 16-year-old, right? Because I don't have much wisdom. I haven't lived a whole lot of life, but I've already got this figured out. And what I have figured out is the nicer you are to people and the nicer you are as a person, just how much better you feel. Life is so much better that way. You feel so much more at peace, right? You don't have to worry about, just being mean to other people and tearing other people down for no reason. You can be around them and just be happy, right? If someone does something, you can be happy for them instead of being jealous. You can, someone just graduates, you're like, oh, I wish I graduated. Or someone, anything like that. You can just be happy for them. Be happy, right? Be nice to each other. You don't have to be mean. They can say something mean to you, and that stinks. And that's really when you're like, oh my God, I really want to say something, But just bite your tongue, hold back a little bit, and you'll realize how amazing life is when you're just nice. Moral of the story, just be a little bit nicer to each other. Right? And